This is a case where the defendant's convicted of tampering with evidence and obstructing justice. The defendant is not convicted of conspiracy to commit aggravated murder or some lesser variety of murder, such as straight murder or felony murder or involuntary manslaughter or voluntary manslaughter. The defendant hasn't been convicted of complicity of any of those offenses. Therefore, while the backdrop of at least the obstructing justice conviction is concerned is that the person aided by the obstruction committed aggravated murder. The defendant herself has not been convicted of any such crime, but has been convicted of the two offenses noted. She cannot be sentenced as though she committed any crime other than those to which she pled guilty to and which she has been convicted of. And the court does note some factors that are worthy of consideration. Yes, the defendant is a caregiver to a special needs child, and apparently also to an elderly relative. She's volunteered her time and efforts to worthwhile and community projects in the past. Now, while these are good things, the court is driven to the factors that the law defines when imposing a sentence for felony. One such factor is the defendant's law-abiding life that has been her practice to date. Now, I also consider the type and the degree of the felonies that the defendant has committed. And note that these are not misdemeanors. These are not low-level felonies, if there is such a thing. These are serious, serious felonies, third-degree felonies, tampering with evidence. That only occurs when the offender knows of an official investigation, and despite that knowledge, alters, conceals, or removes any document or thing with the purpose to impair its value or availability as evidence in the investigation. Obstructing justice, that occurs when the offender with purpose to hinder conviction or apprehension of another for a crime destroys or conceals any physical evidence of the crime. Now, the version of obstructing justice that the defendant is convicted of in this case is ramped up from a lower level felony to a third-degree felony that is because the crime committed by the person aided is a serious one. It's aggravated murder, a crime for which an offender is punishable by a life sentence, potentially. The point is, these are serious crimes. The defendant pled guilty to them. She did them. The court's duty-bound to impose a fair sentence without undue regard for sympathy and with no regard to bias or prejudice. It has to be a sentence that's sufficient to not demean the seriousness of these crimes, but is one consistent with the consideration of all the factors set forth in Ohio law. No more and no less. And weighing all the proper factors and considerations in the record of this case, the court finds that a prison sentence is called for and one is warranted. Not a maximum sentence. It's not the worst form of the offense, but a prison sentence nonetheless. And the court does sentence the defendant to 24 months in prison upon each count. Now, these sentences shall be served concurrently